Hello, what is good and welcome to my channel. My name's Nancy and it has been a hot minute since I've added a video to this channel. Like, oh my goodness, people, a lot of life changes happening for me. Like, I've moved, I've got a new job, so I'm living in a new city and I'm still kind of getting my bearings and getting used to things. So I've not been able to actually bring my gaming kit with me, which I know is really tragic for like anyone who's a gamer and who understands like what am I meant to do with my time? Read, speak to people. I jest, I'm joking. Like I have a very sound social life, but vibing at home with my gaming setup, like it's just one of them great pleasures in life for me personally anyway. But yeah, I'm back at home with the family for a little bit and I was like, hello, let me see if I can just pump out a quick little speed build. And I say pump out a quick little speed build. This speed build, as you can see, titled Big Mistake Shell. I actually did this about a month ago when Lilsimsie did a shell challenge. I've never actually done a shell challenge before. And for those of you who, like my good friends who subscribe because they're awesome and I love them for it, if you don't know what a shell challenge is, that is basically someone will build all the exterior walls and then you have to create whatever it is you want with it. But the rule is you can't change the walls at all. You can't delete them, you can't extend them, none of that. Like you can add, patios or fencing on the external bit. You can play about with the roofing, you can have platforms, but you cannot change the actual structure. And for a first ever challenge, I picked a doozy because this, as you can see, it's on a diagonal, and so like getting things like the stair placement right, etc., was just, it was chaos. It was hard. I looked at all of the videos of all the sessions that I did to make this. It totals about, I'm so embarrassed to say this, it comes to about 14 hours. I know, 14 hours. I'm kind of quite proud of like the end product. And this video, the way I've sped it up, it's actually a lot faster than what I normally speed my videos up. Like I can't actually believe we're already at this point, because just dealing with how the outside was going to look and the placement of where the doors and the staircase and all that stuff was going to be, that took me a long time to figure out. And that was just like a session one, because I did it over a bunch of days. But you know what, I feel dead rushed. I'm rushing myself just to get everything out because the speed of the video is making me go, oh, you need to keep on talking quickly. But no, I'm gonna bring it back. We're gonna let the video power on because it's still pretty lengthy, and there'll be plenty of opportunities to chat and catch up. But anyway, long ass intro, but I'm just saying, hey, I've missed doing this so much. And I've got a couple of new subscribers as well. Hello, if you're new and you're watching this, thank you for watching this video as well, because about 2 months ago, is it now, your girl binged season 2 of Bridgerton and had to bring back my little let's play of Singerton. And I just posted it on my Insta story and I tagged the Sims just because, like, bants, yeah, sure, I'll tag them, why not? And they actually reposted it. And so a lot of people have actually viewed my my Singerton 2 video, which just looks at Anthony and Kate's relationship and that whole enemies to lovers story arc, which is, it was wild. I was dead made up. So hiya, if you've seen another video of mine, well, this one, cheers. As I said, because I've moved, videos aren't going to be as regular. I used to average about once a month, really, like every 4 weeks I'd blitz out getting either a Dead by Daylight bit of gameplay on, or Sims build, or I'd come up with a new Let's Play. And I actually have an ongoing Let's Play that I'm still filming bit by bit. I've not touched it for a while, but I'm still working on, so I still have ideas. I still love doing this content thing as a hobby, so there will be videos, just not super frequent, while again, like I said, I get used to the new area that I'm living, sort out what my permanent living situation is going to be, and then I can be like, okay, now I can really move in like all of my proper stuff, because yeah, I miss my light up keyboard. I did end up getting a little gaming laptop just to keep me going, but for all you Sims players out there, the Sims on a laptop, ooh, it sets it on fire. The fan just keeps on spinning. It gets so hot if you've got it on your lap. Like, it makes you work. It makes the laptop work for it. And it's eating up a good old chunk of my memory. So yeah, I'm making do. I'm making the best of it, but the job's going well. You know, she's working on musicals. She's living the dream. So anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about this build. So yes, it is the Lilsimsie Big Mistake Build Challenge. You can make into anything you want, and even though this is my first time doing a build challenge, I love watching, you know, shell challenge tours. I called it a build challenge, shell challenge specifically. So first time doing a shell challenge, but I've watched so many streams from different content creators who play The Sims and who do different kinds of shell challenges. And there was actually one that I saw, the one before the Lilsimsie did, it had a basement level in it, and then I was just like, I was watching some of the tours of the things that people created, and I was like, oh, if that were me, like, what would I have done? And I was like, that basement I would have done. Some people had it like as a movie hangout space for a family, or it was a laundry room, or it was like a mini apartment. And then obviously some people went down the creepy road and, you know, made use of things like the vampire pack and all sorts of like magic witchy things, and, you know, just very supernatural energy, which is really dope. But in my head I was like, that basement, that would be like my secret superhero like spy quarters or something. That would be the kind of thing I would want to create. And so for this one, I had in mind, when I saw the, instead of a basement this time she'd done like an extra third floor, I was like, okay, attic room for a superhero. But then I took it one further and I was like, you know what, I'm going to be heavily inspired by Spider-Man, and like, you know, with your friendly neighborhood spider. This is Spider, your friendly neighborhood spider, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, or superhero, however that phrase goes. But I basically thought, you know what, I'm gonna have the attic be like that. So at first in my head, all I knew was the top floor is the teen room with an extra chunk that is going to be where they do all of their monitoring the city, getting their alerts. You know, it was a hybrid between, in my head, Spider-Man and Kim Possible. And so that's all I knew. The rest of the house I didn't know. And then I encountered, as I was sort of doing the rough floor plan of everything, trying to fit in a staircase diagonally within there was really, really tricky, and it ate up a lot of space inside. And so that's when I was like, okay, we're going to make it like a bit of a modern apartment. I always knew I was going to build in San Myshuno, you know, the little city living place. And it just made sense as well with it, you know, being kind of Spider-Man inspired. They live in a hustling, bustling city. And so I split it up, and I imagine this plot, it's right in the center. As you can see, you've got the main, you know, public kind of square where you've got activities, and they have the flea market and the spice festival and all that great stuff, and there's the bar next door. I was like, this is probably, let's say it's some random property investors. They're trying to create this new kind of like modern apartment-y complex, but it's a bit more eco energy vibes, with the solar panels and, you know, the style of the garden a little bit. That's kind of the inspo roughly that I got from it. So I was like, we'll just create something like that. And then we'll have the ground floor be one type of thing, and then the top two floors would be another apartment. And then when it came to the ground floor and finishing, I was absolutely exhausted. I mean, I'm still doing the exterior, as you can tell. I've not really gotten far at all. But the ground, so when it came down to doing the bottom level, I was like, I'm just going to do it a lot like my little Vinnie Vermouth penthouse. There's a speed build. I've done a little bachelor pad penthouse speed build from Let's Play I did with Bob Pancakes and a character called Vinny. And so I basically kind of copied and pasted the colour scheme and the energy and the vibe of like what that bachelor pad kind of apartment would look like. But then for the upstairs one where the teen superhero was going to live, it was very much kind of, you know, Marvel's version. Spider-Man is Marvel, but kind of the Disney Marvel film version of Aunt May compared to, you know, the Sony and all the previous ones that have come before, where she's a little bit more mature and a bit more kind of bordering grandmotherly territory rather than, middle-aged fun aunt. So for this one, again, I was going for the fun youngish aunt energy. So the styling is more youthful and quite fresh. Well, I say it's fresh, in my opinion. But it's definitely not it's not dated. I still kind of went for, it's like a little bit boho-y, kind of found furniture. Like she's traveled the world. She's a bit worldly. Lots of bits and pieces put together. Dead cozy. But enough about that. You'll see all that as we go deeper into the speed build. Let's talk about, I had a lot of space to deal with. The shell isn't actually that big. It feels massive because of its awkward kind of clunky shape, but it doesn't actually take up a lot of the lot. And I gave myself a big old challenge by having so much space to play with. And so again, because I love the elements of realism and the storytelling that you can create when you're doing The Sims. So I've got a little car heading down the driveway. When you can turn around, there's a little car park machine as well, and there are 4 garages, and obviously there are only 2 apartments. But what the energy I went for is, again, with this eco community kind of energy, that those garages are kind of separately owned, and so they're just kind of people's own storage lockers. And within there, the way each one is furnished kind of gives a little hint as to what the story is behind each kind of person who owns it. So there's one that dark, there's an urn in it, and lots of old kind of portraits, and one of them being like kind of a movie poster. And there's an award, and then there's lots of papers and envelopes. And with that, I was like, someone's recently passed away, and so all their stuff is in storage, but it's this old glamorous Hollywood kind of person. And so while all their estate is getting put in order, they've been kept in there. There's one that's got a pickup truck, and it's got bikes on it, and kind of like ski or skateboarding paraphernalia, just to hint at that's an active person who's always going off to the mountains to do all kinds of extreme sports and adventuring. Then the other one, I can't even remember now. The one at the far end is kind of abandoned / neglected. It's just empty car shell, tires. I think I put like a stolen cash machine in there. Maybe there's a chance for a bit of sus activities. We are in the city. There's a lot of good and bad things going on. Right, for this bit, looking at the garden, it was quite, again, I loved that pergola. That I never knew that word existed until I started playing The Sims. I was just like, to me, it was just like, it's an awning, or it's just a big, like, the big shade, for lack of, I don't know what the official term was, but yeah, it's pergola. It's a good word, that, pergola. And so, there's the nice little pergola area for doing your gardening and being au natural and one with earth. And this garden actually doesn't make a lot of sense because I was just running out of ideas, and landscaping's very difficult. So it's kind of like a little zen pool. That's it. I wanted a pond because, touching back on Lilsimsie, like, I watch so much of her content. She's dope. A lot of every time there's a shell challenge that she does, there's always like the 3 P's when it comes to what people include in their build. So it's ponds, pets, and what's the 3rd P? Ponds, pets, and plants. That's it. Was it plants? Well, let's go with plants. There's other ones. Perish was another one, which is like, some people have like creepy little gravestones or vampires or whatever. But ponds and pets were the big ones. And so I was kind of like, hey, I've got to tick off the 3 Ps. So I was like, I need a pond somewhere in this build. And then I thought, with this kind of whole eco vibe, it's a kind of a zen garden, and it's quite cute. Doesn't completely match the aesthetic of everything, but why does everything have to be matchy? Spice it up. Just have everything that, is a vibe that's good for you. So that's kind of what I did. And then now I'm starting to just put bits into the garden, add a bit of storytelling. There's a picnic blanket with a hamper, which is cute. That came with cottage living. So it's a shared garden space for both apartments. And there was like, I left out a towel, a little beach towel, because that chap over there will open his sliding doors and just catch a bit of sun, little bottle of suntan lotion, so he stays safe. And then just a cute little dining area for Aunt May when she has her friends round. As you can see, it was a generic garage than one of the other ones. This one, what I'm finishing now, that is where, you know, the little movie stars items were left behind. Switching topics now, actually. Let's talk a bit about this music that's on in the background. You girls subscribe to Epidemic Sound because I just got tired of always using the same songs. I mean, I loved some of my bops, some of my tunes that I found from other like royalty free places, but I was like, okay, you're doing these videos, you know, on the reg more than just like a one and done. So, you know, let's bite the bullet and let's subscribe so you can just get a full plethora of things. And with the hope that, I don't know, maybe I'll stream one day as well, but that's something for another day. But I was like, what's the vibe of this music that I want to choose? Because there's so many options with Epidemic Sound. It's a really good website. And so I've gone for 2000s rock. I'm a rock music fan. And these kind of tracks that have been playing now, it just reminds me of the whole classic American teen. Like, think watching One Tree Hill, The OC, Laguna Beach. Like, is me revealing my age. But that kind of soundtrack, that's kind of the vibe that I was going with. I was in the mood to hear to. I've just had a couple of days where I saw some amazing bands live. I saw Green Day, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Weezer and Fall Out Boy. They were amazing. It was the first like massive gigs that I've been to since, you know, the World Panny the World Panny, you know, that thing. So it was so good to see live music and be in a big concert with like loads of other fans. I had a really good time, and so I'm still kind of vibing with that energy, and it like kind of took me back to that, you know, the old like songs of the noughties that I really loved. So I went with that, and also because we've got a new pack coming to The Sims High School Years, and it's very much heavily inspired by the American high school experience, but like kind of like the televised version, the one we've all been sold, that we've seen in tons of movies and TV shows like throughout the ages. So again, that just kind of tied into, you know, I've got my little teen superhero, and I'm just vibing with that kind of music playlist, so I hope you enjoy it. And actually, one thing to point out as well, when it comes to the upstairs kind of secret superhero hideout where she does her all of I say she, it could be a he or a they, whichever, you know, this house is on the gallery, so you can tell your own stories with if you choose to download it. I used the Moschino stuff window, the attic windows, because they have kind of an opening, and I left like a little pair of shoes on the side, so it's like she sneaks out of, I say she just because in my head my character for this build, the superhero teen character, is a she, so she climbs out of the window, climbs down like this lattice railing on the wall so her auntie doesn't know what's going on, and she can go out and fight crime and do all sorts. And then I saw the trailer for the new Sims 4 High School Years, and now they've added like sneaking out as a function. I remember in The Sims 2 that was something that your teens could do. You'd ring up your friend and say, oh, let's sneak out, and then at about 9 p.m 10 p.m they'd leave the house without being seen by their parents, and you'd have like two scenarios: either they tiptoe back and they go home and be like, sweet, I've had a boss night out, or the police would actually drive them back in their car and be like, oh, your children have been up to mischief. So that's quite dope actually, that I had this build and then now it looks like I can revamp it again a little bit later and update it with that lattice railing, and, you know, see if I can actually play it out. Actually, I'm really excited to do that. Maybe there's a let's play in that, I don't know. I mean, just for the sake of wanting to see that interaction, use it, but I don't know, we'll recreate something. I've got a couple of ideas, mostly inspired by lots of the old teen series that I watched. I don't know, you know, recreating something like Saved by the Bell, or I don't know, but there's endless options. So, you know, it might be a couple of months away, but there will be more content. Actually, speaking of more content, this channel, as you can see, it's been mainly The Sims and Dead by Daylight. I did a sprinkling of Tomb Raider, which I'm still, you know, want to plow through as well. That it's quite fun, just because I do love playing a mix of games. So this channel clearly is just kind of more catered to The Sims and Dead by Daylight, just because they're quite, the editing when it comes to making the videos are a lot more easier for me to, you know, edit and then share online. But The Quarry came out, and if you've not seen my Dead by Daylight videos, although I'm a lot calmer, when I first started playing it, clearly you knew Nancy and horror doesn't mix. Don't do scary films. But oh, actually, you know what? Hang on a second. I've got some food on the way, so I'm gonna quickly check my delivery, because it's meant to be here, and like, yeah, they're on their way. Beautiful. See, normally I'd edit stuff like this out, but the thing is, like, I'm visiting home, and I want to make sure that I've got time to chill out as well. And I'm watching, actually, Gloria Sherry Henry do a little anniversary stream on Twitch as well while I'm doing this, so I don't want to miss out on the fun of that. So we're just going to leave all of this in, unedited, raw, as I did with the spear build, actually. Normally I kind of cut out the boring bits, or, you know, things that look a bit clunky when I'm just keep on rotating the lot to see what's going on. But, you know, I've just kind of left it all in, as well as partly evidence as well, to prove that I've not manipulated or changed any of the walls that I have stuck to the rules of the shell challenge. But what was I even talking about? I can't even remember. But you know what? My food's on my way, so I'm gonna pause this chat right now, and I'll be back in a moment. It'll be seconds for you, but it's gonna be a good couple of minutes for me. In a bit. Oh hey, you're still here. Lovely. I'm so glad you've not left. Oh, what did I order? I ordered Malaysian chicken curry and vegetable tempura. It was delish. But let's get back to the old... Oh, look at that. It's paused. You see? Because normally I cut stuff out like that, because basically what this is right now is I've been distracted. I've either gone off to make a drink, or I'm talking on the phone or something. But oh, that one wasn't quite as long, thankfully. Oh, it got me again. But yeah, a little pause there. Awkward. But anyway, we power through. Yes, I was talking about The Quarry. And, you know, content creating and more videos when I get the time and the means to upload more. That is one that I'm actually quite keen to play, even though I don't do horror very well, but I love storytelling games. Like even like stuff like GTA, like Rockstar games in general, they're pretty dope, and I love like create your own path stories. So that is a game that I'm tempted to play, because I watched Gloria Sherry Henry, Glow Pinkster on Twitch, play through it, and, you know, her version of gameplay unfolded. The aim of the game obviously is to hopefully have everyone survive and uncover what's going on in Hackett's Quarry. I don't know why I said it like that. Hackett's Quarry. But yeah, her gameplay, it went one way. So, and part of me is like, oh, I want to know what happens next. And normally I'll just find another stream, because I'm far too scared to, you know, play it myself. But it does look so much fun. I want to see if I can save all of the teens at camp as well. So I don't know, when I get the time and stuff, maybe I'll have a little go at it. Like Until Dawn, similar to that. That's another great one. I've watched that quite a couple of times now, so I don't think I could quite play it again, just because I kind of know what kind of route the decisions take you on. But yeah, that might be something I'll do. It'd definitely be fun. Yeah, now the awkward space, because I realized trying to do a staircase in the upstairs apartment as well was just, it was going to take up far too much room, so I opted for the ladder. It's very odd, it's very strange. Like, if this was proper realistic, like, who would buy this property or rent it? Because how awkward is that to have to go up and down the ladder? I mean, obviously for a young sprightly teenager, maybe it's not that much of a big deal, but it's kind of hella impractical, isn't it, really? But we suspend our disbelief as always when we play The Sims. Friends, It's been 24 minutes. Can you actually believe? I was convinced. I was like, oh, I'm only going to speak in this for about 10 minutes and then I'll just pad it out with music, which I don't always love doing, but it just feels like, don't force it. But clearly I've had a lot to say. Maybe not exactly interesting things, but I hope you've enjoyed watching the speed build while I've kind of nattered and shared. I think clearly it's just because basically I've missed doing this so much, and so just the words keep on pouring out. And this is kind of slightly different because normally when I do a speed build I'll kind of narrate as we go along, as I'll kind of explain what's happening, for each decision I've made, each finishing choice, or why I've done this. But I mean, I'm gonna just vibe. This is it. This is what I've done. I tried. I think there was definitely an element of fatigue doing this place. Like once I got the outside done, that kind of knackered me out essentially, and decorating it. Not that it wasn't fun, but I was just kind of get it done, because I was also working to a deadline, because I did submit it for the when she goes through the all the shell submissions and picks ones at random, because it would be quite fun if like, oh, see what I've done, isn't it cool? Comment, say something. So yeah, there was time pressure with this one. It wasn't a leisurely build, it was a piece of work, and I think that's definitely the last time I definitely do anything on a diagonal. Stress. Maybe not the last time I'll do a shell challenge, because it's quite fun actually to just it changes up your gameplay of how you play The Sims, because kind of the world is your oyster a little bit to a certain extent with building and creating things. And I always do family homes, really. I don't really make many community lots. I did that seafood restaurant. I say seafood restaurant, it's a chippy. I did that seaside chippy speed build a while back, and that was quite nice actually. It was a change from doing a home. Maybe when this new high school pack comes out, maybe what could I do with that? Like a boarding school kind of inspired build. Maybe like, oh, I'm getting ideas now. Not exactly like, but something like Bulworth Academy. If you've ever played the Bully game, again, storytelling games, I love them. That is a classic. That was on PS2 and PC. And, you play as Jimmy Hopkins, a little unruly wild kid, and you got to gain respect from all of the different factions in the school and the local townspeople. That would be quite quirky to make like a little posh kind of boarding school or a prep school or academy or something. Maybe. I've got time. The game doesn't come out till the end of the month, and I'm going to take a bit of time out in August, so that means maybe more gaming time and more content creating, which is fun. But I've natted a lot. I hope it's been somewhat enjoyable watching along, listening along. Sorry if it hasn't been. I won't be offended if you mute me, to be fair. I probably should have said at the top of this video, it's going to be a lot of rambling, so please feel free to mute and just watch the build if that's what you're more interested in. But hey, it's just cash, it's just chill. So we'll leave it at that. As always with these builds, I will include pictures at the end. It finishes just as like I do the last little bit. I've got mannequins in the teen, spoiler alert, I've got mannequins in the attic room, because that's basically where the superhero outfit is going to be, and you can't do that without going into live mode first and then choosing to dress up the mannequin in your chosen clothes. And so I left that bit out of filming. As soon as I finished the build, I stopped recording, and then I was just doing all of the changing the tones of the lights and the colours, and adding a bit of ambiance, which you'll see in some of the pictures, particularly for the secret den. So yes, I will leave you all there. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you for powering through for this long and dealing with my chat. I hope you've enjoyed the music as well in the background. And we've got about 6 minutes where you can just enjoy 6 or 7 minutes really when I add in all the pictures. You can have all of that. It's been a rambly one. Sorry, not sorry. All the best. Hope you're doing good. Do something nice for yourself today. treat yourself to something and do it, you know, because, you know, times are hard. Life feels a little bit bleak sometimes, doesn't it? So please have fun, enjoy yourselves. There's probably more questionable furnishing choices happening, I say, as I see that tiled floor in the kitchen. I remember I was struggling with trying to, you know, find a nice kind of kitchen diner setup, because I was like, there's no room for a dining table. Doing the floor plan for this place was hella tricky. But hopefully it's kind of worked out. The bathroom's got no windows as well. Not a fan of that in real life, but needs must. So yeah, I'm gonna leave her at that now. She's chatted on long enough. All the best. Like I said, treat yourself to something. Even if it's something boring, like you can have an early night because you've been burning the midnight oil a lot. You've been working hard and you just want to rest. Treat yourself to an early night and a long sleep. Have a drink, have a nice cake, or, you know, something that makes you happy. Do something that makes you happy today. You know, sometimes you forget to do that. So do that. Hope all is well with you. I will catch you for another video at some point. Thanks for watching, and yeah, until next time. Bye.